My mother is the most enchanting woman in the world. With just those fair and delicate hands, she bewitched my father, leaving him soulless. Both my father and I enjoyed helping mother wash her hands, soaking them in sheep's milk, applying fragrant ointments, day after day, never growing weary. Until one day, I discovered the most skillful handiwork these hands engaged in. It wasn't embroidery, nor was it rouge application. It was peeling off human skin. In the spring, mother sat under the eaves, drawing leather puppets. Father sat beside her, staring at mother's fair fingers, indulgently smiling. My father was a performer, specializing in shadow puppetry, with only one show each year. The play he performed was called a mortal drama, believed to grant wishes to those who listened. Hence, the admission fee for this performance was 5 taels of gold. Our family was well off, and my mother lived a different life from others in the village. She never went up the mountain or worked in the fields. She didn't even bother with chopping wood or cooking. My father pampered her, and she lived like a delicate piece of tofu, untouched by sunlight. Despite giving birth to 3 daughters, my father treated us sisters the same way, turning us into the most beautiful girls in the village. In the afternoon sun, I felt drowsy. I rubbed my eyes and buried my head in mother's soft bosom. "Mother, you smell so good." But this time, mother didn't respond with her usual laughter. She held up a leather puppet, her face pale, her lips trembled, and she muttered to my father, "The leather puppet, it's torn again." I was frightened nearly to tears. Before my second sister got married, she warned me to help our parents sun-dry the leather puppets diligently. She said that if the leather puppets were torn, we would never see our parents again, because, like her and my elder sister, we would be married off to exchange for new leather puppets. I didn't understand why. With money in the house, they couldn't buy donkeys to peel the leather. Why did they have to use their daughters to exchange for leather puppets? I asked my parents, but all I got was their deep sighs. My father leaned in, examining mother's hands for a long time. Finally, he glanced meaningfully at me, then limped back to the west wing. Not long after, he took out a set of red bridal attire. "Sister Shan is now 13. This is the bridal dress your mother prepared for you long ago. Try it on. If it doesn't fit, ask your mother to alter it." The golden threads on the bridal dress pricked my palms painfully. This fiery red bridal attire belonged to my elder sister and my second sister. Elder sister and second sister, where did they go? Dinner was prepared by my father again. He angrily threw the bamboo shoots away, and served me a plate of tofu stewed with green beans. Mother lay in the room, not eating. After dinner, father washed the dishes and sent me back to my room to try on the dress. Tonight, the sky darkened unusually fast. After washing my face, I heard the sound of water dripping from my parents' room. Normally, my parents were amorous during the day, and the room emitted sickening sounds. I was accustomed to it, but tonight was different. In that sound, I heard the names of my elder sister and my second sister. Summoning courage, I pushed open the bedroom door. The sound was coming from the west wing. The night was chilly, and the sound sent shivers down my spine. Nevertheless, I forced myself to enter. The west wing was empty, with only a box of leather puppets. The sound was coming from the box. I usually saw my father lock this box, but perhaps, due to mother's injury, he had forgotten to do so in a hurry. "Mr. Shan, is there you?" The voice was faint but becoming clearer. My hands and feet turned ice cold. I plucked up my courage, and opened the sandalwood box. The box contained neatly arranged leather puppets, no visible differences. A cold wind blew through the half-covered window, making one leather puppet sway. I bent down and picked it up. I recognized this one. That year, my father said the 9-colored stone in this leather puppet had cracked. After my elder sister got married, not long after, this box gained a new 9-colored stone. I held the leather puppet up, examining it carefully in the moonlight. Suddenly, the voices of my elder sister and second sister rang out together. "Sister Shan, quickly escape. Mother wants to peel your skin." I was so scared that my hands trembled, and my legs went weak. The skin fell to the ground, and I collapsed in fear, unable to catch my breath. My mind was in a fog. I couldn't understand why the voices of my elder sisters were coming from the leather puppets. Elder sister told me to escape, but where could I go? Over the years, although the village was considered open-minded, my mother adhered to old traditions, and I was confined within the boundaries of our home. I hadn't even explored the run-down village completely. At the age of 13, nurtured by my mother to the point where I couldn't shoulder or lift anything, where could I escape to? My heart was pounding in my throat. "Sisters," I stammered, "why does mother want to peel my skin? Did she peel yours too?" The 2 leather puppets suddenly fell silent. The west wing became eerily quiet. A chill ran down my spine, and I turned around abruptly. A pallid face appeared before me. In the moonlight, my mother crouched behind me, her fingers wrapped in bandages, blood still dripping onto the floor. "Sister Shan, what are you doing?" Mother's voice echoed ominously, like a thread, lingering in the air. My vision went black, and I fainted. When I woke up, I was still in the West Wing. But now, I was sitting inside the family's rice jar. We were well off, never eating coarse rice. The jar was filled with thrice peeled white rice. My body was tightly wrapped in rice, exposing only half of a shoulder in my head. Father and mother sat on small stools beside me. Mother's eyes had dark circles, and her eyebrows and nose seemed faint, as if she hadn't slept well. She gently touched my face. Sister Xian, the leather puppet of the 9 heaven immortal cracked. Mother needs to peel your skin to make a new one, okay? I burst into tears. Mother, don't peel my skin. I'll be obedient. I'll get married, and then I can bring back a new leather puppet, right? Mother first chuckled and then, with a touch of sadness in her eyes, said, Sister Xian, getting married is a lie your mother told you. Mother can't bear to peel your skin. Mother has no choice. I believed her words. Among the 3 sisters, I resembled my mother the most, not only in appearance but also in skin texture. Every inch of my body was smooth and spotless, white as snow. Father often said that I had the skin of a beauty. Mother wiped away a tear. Sister Xian, if I don't peel your skin, your father's immortal drama can't be performed. Mother, one show earns 5 taels of gold. Father has been performing this play for 18 years. Our family is already wealthy. We could buy a house in the capital and live comfortably for generations. Please, ask Father not to pursue this money. Mother hesitated, seeing that I wouldn't relent. She looked at Father. Add water. Father turned and picked up a ladle, scooping water from the jar and pouring it onto the white rice around me. In a short while, the soaked rice slowly expanded, and I couldn't catch my breath. Mother comforted me. Sister Xian, making leather puppets has its rules. It's necessary for the beauty skin to agree. Please relent, or you'll suffer. I shook my head. Father continued to add water to the rice. Gradually, I couldn't hold on anymore. I just wanted to get out of the jar and breathe heavily. Mother, I gasped. I agree. As soon as I said this, my mother's lifeless eyes suddenly lit up. Father lifted me out of the jar. Mother smiled at me and said, Sister Xian, be obedient during the skinning. Mother will be careful not to let you suffer, okay? I had no strength to respond. After catching my breath, Mother said she would comb my hair in just 2 or 3 strokes. She tied my hair with hemp rope, then used thicker rope to lift and suspend me from the ceiling beam. My scalp was pulled painfully, and I whimpered in pain. Mother told me to endure and then sealed my mouth. She undressed me, leaving only a loincloth. Mother bound a thin strap around my neck, securing the loincloth, afraid I might catch a cold. She set up a charcoal basin in the room. The crackling sound of burning charcoal filled the air as she fumbled with it for a while. Exhausted, I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was nighttime again. Mother added flower juice to the heated water, and carefully washed my body with her still bleeding hands. Afterward, she applied ointment inside and out. Mother said we were creating the leather puppet of the 9 heaven immortal, and that I needed special care to maintain my beautiful skin. Father's immortal drama relied entirely on the character of the 9 heaven immortal. With everything done, Mother dressed me in the loincloth and brought a box over. She took out the leather puppets and laid them on the windowsill to bask in the moonlight. Then, with a pen, she touched up the faded features, the eyes and eyebrows. She continued until she reached the 9-colored stone and the octagonal mirror. My mother squinted at them, raising an eyebrow to ask, You haven't told Mother yet, why did you suddenly come to the West Wing last night? I remained silent. Mother stood up, reached out, and touched the tip of my toe. I lowered my head to look. My mother's face was extremely beautiful, still tender, and full of playfulness, appearing not much older than me. I suddenly inhaled a breath of cold air. I just realized that, after so many years, since my birth, my mother's face hadn't changed at all. Seeing my strange expression, Mother's smile turned cold. Sister Xian, did you remember something last night? Is that why you came to the West Wing? I shook my head. Mother pursed her lips, put the leather puppets back in the box, locked it, and placed it under the window. As soon as Mother left, my tears started flowing. My mother was right. I did remember something. I remembered that my 2 sisters were already dead. I had witnessed it, but somehow my father and mother used some kind of magic to make me forget. Last night, after fainting in the West Wing, I remembered everything again. When my elder sister died, it was also in the spring. My second sister and I hid behind the wall, witnessing my mother hanging my elder sister, and then slashing her neck with a knife. Blood sprayed everywhere, and my elder sister's body twitched, tears streaming from her eyes. In just a few breaths, she was lifeless. Her body turned pale, and my mother, using a willow leaf knife, quickly peeled off a perfectly intact skin. At that time, my second sister and I were still wearing heavy clothes, but my mother had already changed into spring attire. Her slender waist was wrapped in thin fabric, only a palm's width wide. I didn't know where she got such strength. While my mother was doing this, my father just stood by and watched, not lending a hand. Only when the entire process was done did my father finally act. He took a mat, wrapped my elder sister's body haphazardly, and threw it into the pit they had dug in the backyard, buried. I don't remember how I returned to my room with my second sister sister. Anyway, the next morning, both of us had forgotten the events of the previous night, thinking that our elder sister had gotten married. Later, I witnessed my second sister being skinned, alone this time, and then I forgot again. Tonight, my parents are still busy. Amidst my mother's whimpering, I looked at the box in the room. Hanging on it was a peachwood lock engraved with runes, and there was no sign of movement inside. Yet, I still felt as if the suppressed cries of my sisters were emanating from there. My scalp was becoming more and more painful, and I grew increasingly scared. I started crying, unable to stop myself from muttering, "Elder sister, second sister, did it hurt when mother cut your neck and peeled your skin?" Elder sister and second sister didn't answer me, but mother pushed open the door. Only then did I realize that the whimpering had stopped at some point. Mother's face still carried a hint of blush. The buttons on her chest hadn't been fastened in time, revealing a large expanse of delicate white skin. She appeared tender like a girl in her 20s, making my father behind her look aged. Mother lifted her head, her voice still carrying a coquettish pant. "Sister Xian, have you remembered everything? Did you see your two sister skins lying in the box last night?" "Yes, I skinned them, but don't worry, you're different from them." My mother always said that the three of us sisters had vastly different personalities. Elder sister was reserved, second sister was mischievous, and I, despite my stunning appearance, carried a sense of tranquility. The 9-colored stone and the octagonal mirror are lifeless objects, so your two sisters' skins had to be drained of blood before peeling. My mother whispered to me, "As for you, you're going to be the 9 heaven immortal, so, your skin," my mother paused, "needs to be peeled fresh."